قال الله Howard Jehovah say, Hashem Kakadaja Balana to the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers and the four corners of the spirit, pushing this will and truth, also in sincerity. And Brother Manatazak, once again here with another fully short video. Not gonna stray, just stick to the point in this one, But I posted this article in the group chat and it's a serious thing because now we're seeing the end result of your efforts, so to speak, the fruit of your labor. It says Gen Z men with college degrees now have the same unemployment rate as non-grads, a sign that the higher education payoff is dead. It says Gen Z is increasingly slamming their degrees as useless, and now research indicates there may be some truth when it comes to the job, and in fact the unemployment. The unemployment rate of males ages 25 to 27 is roughly the same, whether or not they hold a degree. It comes as employers drop degree requirements and young men ditch corporate jobs for skilled trades. Gen Z is struggling to break into the entry-level job market, but young male college graduates may be hurting the most. The most recent data from the Federal Reserve indicates that the unemployment rate among recent college graduates is on the rise at about 50. That's 55 or 5.5. I don't know. I'm not zooming. I can see it. At 5.5%. Although it remains lower than the 6.9 rate among all young workers between 22 and 27 years old. Men with a college degree now have roughly the same unemployment rate as young men who didn't go to college, according to an analysis of U.S. current population survey data by the Financial Times. In comparison, around 2010, non-college educated men experienced unemployment rates over 15%, whereas the rate among college graduates was closer to 7%. It's a stark sign that the job market boost, once promised by a degree, has all but vanished, and the employers care less about credentials than they once did when hiring for entry-level roles. So now all your hard work, all your years of so-called sacrifice, and so all it is a sacrifice, I guess. All it is a sacrifice and studying basically going down the drain. Because at the end of the day, the end result is what? Nil, not nada. Alright? I jump straight to this episode now. It's Isaiah 19:14, right? You know? It says Isaiah 19 and 14. It says, Yahweh had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do, yeah. So it's a perverse spirit and cause them to err. So that means everything they do and all what? Among to naught. Right? A perverse spirit had them in a frenzy thinking what they're doing is right when it's really wrong. Running on what things of this world. You know what I mean? The lifestyle or the outplayed by they're running down they entangle themselves with the affairs of this world, basically. In a nutshell. Alright? So neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So yeah, no work which anyone should do. Whether you have a degree and is the head, or the tail. One not so the lower, yeah, so like, yeah, you know what I mean, the lower end of the spectrum, right? It would have none. So now they all more or less, according to the article, in one bracket, unemployment either just the basic overview of the article, regardless if it is ahead or the tail. All right, we're going to Isaiah chapter 9. What was it? 9 and 16. It says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed." Right? So that perverse spirit is what leading even the leaders to err, and the leaders passing the command on down. You know what I mean? And people believing and they fall in faith. And that is what causing them to go off as well. You know, go to school, study hard. So like in the impoverished areas, like I grew up in the ghetto, in some of the worst ghettos of the country. You know what I mean? And your mothers or your parents will always like, you know, hey, study hard to get a good job, to live a better, you know what I mean, higher standard of life. And that was drilling me head from a young age, right? I wonder who drilled it into their head. And their parents said, come on, do the maths, right? And see what they that are led of them are what destroyed because you spend the entire life running along what the treasures of this wasteland of a kingdom. You know? That is what you'll be destroyed. When you go to Ecclesiasticus or the book of Sirach, 1922. It says, "The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence." Right? So the knowledge of this soul is what? Not wisdom. This is not wisdom. This is foolishness. And I will get out here now. Right? In First Corinthians 1 and 20. It says what? Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not power made foolish the wisdom of this world? Right? The Lord make God this wisdom foolishness. This precept is 1 Corinthians 3, 19, I believe. Yeah, correct. It says, "For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with power, for it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness." Alright? So at the end of the day, all these sacrifices, and because now you end up in debt, student loans, you know, all these things to finish pay off before you could even start to apply yourself in the craft that you study all them years for, to make money for yourself, to get that so-called better life that your parents was invigilating you to acquire. You know that it was drilling in your head that you would acquire. You know, but all this is it is for naught. It is for naught. All right. You go to Matthew 6 and uh, right, Matthew 6, 19, 20 and 33. Right. Then you find out precepts of the video. Matthew chapter 6, because there is what should have been done. If the young man was doing this, the Lord would have provided. You know what I mean? But they are the suffer because why? Even now when the Lord's mouthpiece, the prophets on the land, sounding that trumpet, giving the people warning and not taking it to caught up in what? Trying to get a better life. Because they know hey, they come from nothing, they all come from them because it was what drilled in their heads through the leaders, whether it be the parents, the fucking political leaders, because at the end of the day when you grow up in a household, the leaders are, or the head of the household is the parents, right? And the parents learning from ultimately who? Esau Edom, right? The rulers of this world. Matthew 6, 19 and 20. It says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth." So that is one. where moth and rust that corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal thy too. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. So now two solid points then precepts bring out it. You know why? Because all the wisdom of this world is foolishness. And nobody can take that wisdom. Nobody can take this doctrine from you. Nobody can take this truth from you. Right? This would lead to what eternal riches, spiritual riches, riches beyond where you could fathom, unfathomable riches. That's what it's pronounced. I think I messed it up. Right? Let me jump down to the final precept. Verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of power and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And that is the key ingredient. Seek ye first the kingdom of power, the kingdom of the Lord, and all these things will be added unto you. Everything. Don't worry about nothing. The Lord will deal with it. At least for his select, his chosen, his elect. Everybody else want to join hand in hand in Egypt. 5 years. Right? They will be pain, as the scripture say. You must know it after that by pain. And that is just a thus said the Lord. Right? So I hope the video was edifying. I hope it's powerful for thought among the Akim. Through the spirit and power of your passion, your Shai Basham Until next time, Shalom.